Howdy y'all and welcome. I hope everybody had a great Christmas out there and got everything y'all wanted, including coal. And now we're on to the new year. And as we can see, the new year is going to be starting off on an icy note, as yesterday there was a big old ice storm up in the Northeast, and it's looking like today there's going to be a winter storm up here in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region, and a continuing ice storm in the Northeast. As you can see, we have a multi-hazard winter storm. Storm system will rapidly intensify over the Midwest on Sunday and track through the Great Lakes on Monday. Numerous winter weather hazards are expected from the northern plains through the Northeast, and heavy snow and whiteout conditions could be possible across the upper Great Lakes late Sunday continuing into Monday. Over a foot of lake-enhanced snow along Michigan's upper peninsula is expected. Blowing snow will cause whiteout conditions and treacherous conditions, so definitely be aware of this. If you have to head out, then please be careful. If you don't, then great. Just use your common sense, as they're really too uncommon nowadays. Now, other than the winter storms affecting us through Tuesday, we got some severe weather actually on Sunday here from Arkansas all the way up here into Ohio and parts of western Pennsylvania as well. The main hazards are going to be tornadoes. There's a low wind chance for that here in the green, 2% chance, and a wind threat, which is a 5% chance, and there is no hail threat. So mainly it's going to be a tornado and wind driven event within the whole marginal risk zone. So before we take a look at the weather models, let's take a look at what we could expect for the next couple weeks. Here is the current alert map. We can see we got anything from winter weather advisories to dense fog advisories to some winter storm watches. So let's go ahead and cover the forecast for the next couple of weeks. We'll get into the winter storm and severe weather here in a little bit. You can see today we got some major snow going on up here in the Rockies all the way up into Idaho and Montana, including the Pacific Northwest, where y'all got in on a pretty significant atmospheric river, which has been lasting for quite a while. And you can see the Northeast, of course, gonna be dealing with some snow today, and y'all dealt with an ice storm yesterday here in Pennsylvania. But as we push this forward, we can see that it's looking like another system is going to be impacting us as we head into Sunday. That's why they issued the marginal risk here from Arkansas into Ohio. We got a big system that's going to be rolling through, bringing flooding and a big old winter storm here to the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. And it's looking like we could be dealing with some lake effect snow on top of what's already fell all the way through Tuesday, and it looked like it's just gonna keep on keeping on up there in the Northeast with the snowfall. But for the rest of the country, it's looking to be pretty dry as we head into the new year right around 7 o'clock. And let's actually rewind that though. I apologize, I went through that kind of quickly. But New Year's Eve, let's say about 1 o'clock in the morning. I know most countries are canceling their New Year's Eve celebrations, which is unfortunate, but if you are celebrating the new year and waiting for the ball drop, it's looking to be pretty good across much of the country, unless you live down here in Texas and Louisiana. Upper Great Lakes and Northeast could be dealing with some snowfall, but don't let the weather deter you from heading out and celebrating the new year and watching the ball drop, because it's really a once a year thing, and you make some good memories doing so. And you can see we got a trough rolling down as well, which could mean some very drastic temperatures at that time, which, take a look at that. We can see 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, January 1st, New Year's. Gonna be very, very cold for much of us here in the lower 48, so definitely bundle up out there. And if you live here in the upper Great Lakes Northeast and down here by Texas and Louisiana, make sure you dress appropriately for the precipitation. And I did not create a graphic, I actually forgot to do so, for areas that are going to be good enough to celebrate New Year's, but really you can just see right here where it's going to be good enough to celebrate it. So get out there and enjoy it, it's pretty much all I'm saying. But after New Year's, we head into 2026. Looking like we could be dealing with another mess up here in the Northwest with heavy snowfall and rainfall and just a whole bunch of nastiness up there. And we could be dealing with another storm system as we head into the January 4th time frame. Now we are 200 some hours out. Please keep this in mind and take this with a grain of salt. This is very far out when it comes to the models, but we could be coming in on system after system here as we inch closer to the middle of January. And we can see here, for kicks and giggles, 300 some hours out. Could be dealing with a snowstorm here along the Appalachians, especially here in the Smoky Mountains. So the mountaintops are going to be very pretty if that happens. And that's going to head off into the Northeast and, of course, La La Land the further we head out. So basically, what I would expect here is a system to roll through as we head into Sunday and into Tuesday, which could bring severe weather on Sunday here from Arkansas up into Pennsylvania, with a backside snowstorm up here in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Now we're going to be dealing with some lake effect snow as we head into Tuesday and past Tuesday. And then we're going to be keeping on as far as the snow goes as we head closer into New Year's. Speaking of New Year's, make sure you bundle up. This is going to be very, very cold for much of us here on New Year's Eve. So we're watching the ball drop, and make sure you dress appropriately for the precipitation. Could be coming in on some significant rainfall down here in Texas and Louisiana, like I said earlier, and some heavy snowfall from Iowa up here into the upper Great Lakes and Northeast. Now, as we head past New Year's, looking to be pretty dry amongst much of the country, except for some lake effect snow in the Northeast and some heavy snowfall in the Northwest. Then another system is going to be rolling through, dumping even more snowfall to the Northeast. Now we're heading into almost 300 some hours out, La La Land when it comes to the models, as you can see, showing a random snowstorm setting up over here in the Tennessee Valley, which could jump a lot of snowfall to the Smoky Mountains, which may not happen in the first place, so definitely please take this with a grain of salt. As it heads off into the Northeast, you can see that could be heading into a drying pattern as we head into the middle of January. So basically, we head into January, could be very, very active. But then as we head into the middle of January, it's looking to be very quiet and very cold as well. Now, as far as the snow totals go for the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a major snowstorm, at least according to the National Weather Service anyway. It's going to be a winter storm affecting the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast. We can see all the way through January 7th. Now, this is over 200 some hours out. Keep this in mind, but this is the National Blended Models, by the way. You can see upwards of a foot up here by Wisconsin and Minnesota. And of course, along the lakes, even more snowfall. So coming in on a lot of snowfall leading into the new year. And as we take a look at the National Weather Service model, this takes us into Tuesday. As we go back to the National Weather Service key wording here, we can see there's going to be a winter storm affecting the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast through Tuesday. And we can see the snow totals that y'all could be coming in on, which is roughly right around 3 to 6 inches with locally higher amounts possible, upwards of a foot up here in northern Wisconsin. And of course, along the lakes, there's going to be a lot of snowfall there as well. As we take a look at the freezing rain totals, definitely going to be coming in on a lot of icing up here in the Northeast. Over a quarter inch of ice is going to be occurring up there, which is definitely dangerous. It's going to be resulting in a lot of power outages up there. So if you have to travel, please be careful and please prepare for power outages up there. Make sure you have a kerosene heater. Jackeries are nice. Just make sure you have the essentials ready to go for this ice storm and winter storm affecting y'all up here in the Northeast and upper Midwest. Now for kicks and giggles, let's go ahead and take a look at the surface ice accumulation leading up into January 7th as far as this model will go. We can see we're going to be dealing with upwards of over a tenth of an inch of ice from Maine all the way down into Vermont and New Hampshire and Massachusetts area, but less than a tenth of an inch the further we head down into Pennsylvania and up here in Michigan. What about the precipitation? Well, we can see where the most precipitation is going to be falling at. Now keep in mind, most of this will be snowfall, but we can see definitely going to be coming in on a lot of precipitation on the next couple of weeks. And as we zoom out here, we can see where the jackpot of precipitation is going to be at. We can see the West Coast is going to be coming in on a lot of precipitation, as well as up here in the Northeast. As far as snowfall goes, looks like the Rockies are going to be coming in on a lot of snowfall, which is typical. And we can see the upper Great Lakes, upper Midwest, Northeast. It's going to be coming in on the jackpot for the next couple of weeks. Now, before we get into the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 day outlook, what about the marginal risk? I did not forget to cover this. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, as tornadoes and high winds are going to be the primary threats. Now, keep in mind, these are low-end threats, but significant tornadoes can still happen on low-end days. And to take a look at this, I think we're going to have to take a look at the NAM 12 kilometer model. Now, as we zoom in here to the eastern part of the country, keep in mind that marginal risk extends from Arkansas up into Pennsylvania. We head into Sunday afternoon. It's looking like a line of severe thunderstorms are going to be starting to roll through. I think this is going to be mainly a high wind threat with a few embedded tornadoes within this line. So definitely keep in mind that tornadoes can happen on low end days, like I said earlier, so make sure you have a way to receive alerts, but don't be too terrified. As long as you know what to do, be just fine. But it's like after that rolls through, we could be dealing with some cold airs. We could be dealing with some heavy snowfall up here in Michigan, and this could extend southward as we could have some lake effect snow come down here into Indiana and Ohio and Illinois, and we can see the lake effect snow up here in the Northeast. So definitely going to be dealing with an active weather pattern leading up into Tuesday. And as we take a look at the NAM 3 kilometer, we can see that the significant tornado parameters for Sunday, this is going to be showing us where the greatest chance of seeing a tornado is going to be at. Not off the charts, but if I had to guess where the greatest odds of seeing a tornado is going to be at, it's going to be mainly over Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois by the time we head into 3 o'clock. And as we take a look at the precipitation at the time, we can see there could be a few embedded supercells at that time, but of course this can be wrong, so definitely keep that in mind. And please be hyper weather aware tomorrow. Just in case that tornado goes off, please seek shelter in the basement, closet, interior, away from windows, and you'll be just fine. And make sure you heed those warnings as well. And you can see there's that ice storm up here in the northeast as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So again, definitely please be prepared for this ice storm. Do not travel. Ice storms are something you don't want to mess with, and this will definitely knock out the power. Enough precipitation falls and turns into ice, definitely going to be resulting in a lot of problems up there in the northeast. So now that I beat the dead horse on that, let's go ahead and take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is saying. Well, we take a look at the precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days as we head into the new year. It's looking like really the whole entire country is going to be heading into above average precipitation, except for down here in good old Florida, and really up here in the northeast, y'all gonna be near normal. Head into the middle of January. Really much of the same story, except for Florida's gonna be coming in on some above average precipitation. So it's looking like we could be heading into an active weather pattern as we head into January. But I'm thinking as we head into the middle of January, I think we could be heading into a quiet pattern. And as we take a look at the risk of heavy precipitation from January 3rd to the 9th, we can see there's a slight risk down here in the deep south, all the way up here into Kentucky, and here in the southwest and west coast as we head into the January 4th through 6th time frame. So definitely be aware of the heavy precipitation. As I showed earlier, I'll probably put it up here again to show y'all where the most precipitation will fall within the next couple of weeks. As far as risk of heavy snowfall goes, from the 3rd through the 5th, there'll be some heavy snowfall up here in the upper Midwest, and it's just going to be keeping on up here in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast as we head into Tuesday, and especially as we head into the new year with lake effect snow affecting places like Lake Erie and places like Buffalo, which is what else was new. Y'all always come in on that this time every year, it seems like. And here in the Rockies, looking like from California up into Washington, there's a slight risk for y'all as well as for snowfall. And I'll put up here again of who will see the most snowfall. So what about temperatures? Well, we zoom out here and go back to the GFS. As we take a look at the temperatures, we can see today it's going to be really nice out there amongst much of us here from the central part of the country down into the southeast. But for the rest of the country, it's looking to be very, very chilly out there, which what else was new? It is winter time. And I know on Christmas time, it was really nice out there. And really, that's when you want it to be really cold and snowy is on Christmas. But of course, I'll take it. I like the warm air. It was another warm Christmas for us here in the lower 48. Now, hopefully next year, hopefully we get in on a white Christmas and a bitterly cold one at that as well. So fingers crossed, hopefully we come in on a white Christmas next year. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we can see we got that cold front, which is going to be resulting in some severe weather from Arkansas into Pennsylvania and some snowfall here in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast. We can see the transition from that very, very warm air into that bitterly cold air. So it's looking like Old Man Winter is going to be making a return as we head into the new year, and it's going to be sticking around for quite a while as well. At least up until right around the 30th, we could come in on a slight warm up, but I think Old Man Winter is just going to be holding a vice grip over us, at least as we head into the new year anyway. And of course, on New Year's Day, y'all are eating your sauerkraut and black-eyed peas. I know I did say pinto beans in the last video. I was instantly corrected on that. So if y'all are eating your sauerkraut and pinto beans and pork, well, it's going to be very chilly out there, and we could be coming in on a slight warm up as we head into January 4th time frame, and I don't think that warm is going to be lasting very long though. You can see slight warm up leading into the 4th through 8th time frame, but then we're going to be back into that bitterly cold air as we head into the middle of January, where I think the middle of January we could be in a quiet pattern, but could be very cold as well. And I will have a January outlook up, I think, in the next couple of days. I'll let y'all know next on Facebook though, as I still got to put that together for y'all. But basically, I think we're going to be warm leading up into at least Sunday before a cold front comes through and knocks that warm air out, and we're going to be remaining cold for quite some time up into the new year. But then as we head into the January 4th through 8th time frame, I think we're going to be coming back into a warm up, but then Old Man Winter is going to be coming back down again and going to be sticking around as we head into the middle of January. And I will have my official January outlook up here in the next couple of days, like I said earlier. Now, what does the Climate Prediction Center have to say? Well, they're showing us that the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Great Lakes, Upper Midwest, Northern Plains going to be coming in on well below average temperatures. I'd be in agreement with this, as we're going to transition from very warm air into some bitterly cold air as we head into the new year. Rest of the country is going to be heading into an above average temperature trend though. Next 8 to 14 days looks like we could be heading to a slight warm up. I'd be in agreement with this as well. From the 4th through the 8th, I think we could be coming back into some warm air before that bitterly cold air comes back down again as we head into the middle of the month. Now, we'll be covering the temperature anomalies in my January outlook to determine what we could expect for the beginning, middle, and end of the month. I think the beginning of the month, by the way, as a sneak peek, we could be heading into a warming trend before we come into a very cold end of January. But of course, I will be covering that in the January outlook. And as far as the risk of hazards temperatures go, there is none, so that's some good news. And as we take a look at the 8 to 14 day hazards outlook, tell me to see the probabilistic outlook maps, which basically shows us that we're going to be dealing with some heavy precipitation from the southeast into the west coast and the deep south, as well as some snowfall here in the upper Midwest, Northeast, and the West Coast and Pacific Northwest as well. So if y'all stayed this far in the video, I'd like to thank y'all. And as a thank you, I'm going to show y'all some interesting stats and facts and even some folklore about the new year. Now, of course, please do not drink and drive on New Year's Eve. I know it is tempting, but please do not do it, and do not drive distracted as well. And here is a lesser known statistical insight regarding New Year's celebrations, is that New Year's Eve consistently records the highest average blood alcohol concentration level of any night of the year at approximately 0.095% among those who consume alcohol, underscoring its status as the most drunken holiday according to analysis of driving and consumption patterns. So again, do not drink and drive on New Year's or any time of year. Here's a fun fact you most likely never knew. A more obscure historical fact tied to American New Year's traditions concerns the White House New Year's Day receptions, beginning with President George Washington in 1790 and continuing for over 140 years. And this is the 250th anniversary of America, by the way, so make sure you celebrate that this year. The sitting president hosted an open public reception on January 1st, where citizens could line up to greet the executive in person. This practice, which symbolized accessibility and tradition, ended abruptly after Herbert Hoover's final reception in 1932, largely due to logistical challenges and shifting social norms. And of course, we have some folklore on New Year's, another lesser known weather-related tradition drawn from rural American folklore and documented in sources such as the Old Farmer's Almanac, involves observing the wind direction on New Year's Eve. Did you know a southerly wind is thought to promise a warm, bountiful year with favorable growing conditions, while a northerly wind signals colder temperatures, obviously, and potential storms ahead. Complementing this is the practice of using the first 12 days of January as predictors for the corresponding months, where each day's conditions serve as an omen for the month it represents, like January 1st for January, January 2nd for February, etc. These customs reflect centuries-old reliance on natural signs to anticipate seasonal patterns in American agrarian communities. So there's some facts and folklore you most likely did not know about the new. So I hope each and every one of y'all enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it, by the way. If you did, please make sure you hit that like and share button so more folks are informed about the weather. Also, leave me some feedback in the comment section down below, as any feedback helps provide you, the viewer, better and more informative content in the future. And also, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button down below. It helps more than you know, because out here at Wins Weather, we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. So basically, what am I expecting for the next couple of weeks? Well, I think we're going to be coming into an active weather pattern as we head into the new year, with some severe weather from Arkansas into western Pennsylvania and a big old winter storm from the upper Midwest, Great Lakes into the Northeast, which the Northeast, y'all could be dealing with some significant snowfall all the way past the new year, all the way up into, I would say, January 3rd and 4th time frame. So definitely keep that in mind. There's also going to be a big old ice storm leading up into Tuesday as well up there, so definitely be aware of that. Don't travel if you don't have to. Just use your common sense and prepare for power outages as well. As far as the severe weather threat goes, make sure you have all alerts set and know where to seek shelter at. Basement, closet, interior room away from windows. You'll be just fine. You have nothing to worry about. And it's looking like after the new year could be calming down a little bit, as it's looking like we're going to be remaining cold, but then we could be coming into a slight warm up as we head into the January 4th through 8th time frame, but then we're going to be back into some bitterly cold air again, and we could be heading into a quiet weather pattern as we head into the middle of January. And I will have my January outlook up, I would say, in the next couple of days, but I will let y'all know on the next Facebook, YouTube community post as well, so definitely stay tuned for that, as I think the beginning of the month is going to be a little bit warmer than normal. Then I think we could be coming into a very snowy and very cold end to January. But of course, I will let you know in the January Outlook video. So have a happy and safe New Year, y'all. Enjoy those New Year celebrations, as I think it's going to be very cold for much of us here in the lower 48 and very snowy in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes Northeast, and very rainy down in Texas and Louisiana. So definitely dress appropriately, but don't let it deter you from getting out and celebrating the new year with friends and family. So again, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all y'all for watching, and until next time, never stop forecasting.
I wonder what it's gonna bring.